This episode of Moola Moola was brought to you by Just Health.
Hi world, this is the Frugal Millennial. Welcome to my first ever podcast called Moola Moola, where I talk about finance and other miscellaneous things with my friends. Today I have on my show Dinushi. So Dinushi and I met about 10 years ago on a set where we did video productions for a educational video on Channel 31. We then got together and formed a video production company ourselves called We Love It Productions. So yeah, hi Dinushi, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to these days.
Nice to have a chat with you, and I love the concept of this show. Right now, I continued with the career in storytelling. I work for the ABC now in a regional town in Western Australia, presenting a mornings program on local radio. Wow. So that's what takes up most of my time.
Are you able to tell us what channel this is on?
Yeah, it's so ABC Goldfieldsesperance is the station, but you can listen to the program from anywhere in the world by searching for a link. Yeah.
Nice. So is that your dream job?
It is. I think you'd know as well. When we first started, I always, any opportunity I could get to do a bit of presenting or interview people, I loved doing. And over the years, I've really reflected on what my purpose is and, you know, what really makes me feel alive. And I think it does boil down to having conversations with people that help us grow or laugh or reflect on life and moving forward, really. So
what was the pathway getting to, for example, when we were doing our video production, you were actually an executive producer. How did you go from there to radio?
Well, at the time, I was also working in community radio. And then when I went back to university to study journalism, and it became very clear that all those skills we were learning with the film production group were actually going to be quite helpful in journalism because it was storytelling online. So from that, I kind of just learned how to tell stories on all platforms, really, and then went into the world, into the journalism world with an open mind as to how I was going to do this. So initially, I started as a journalist for Startup Smart, working with an online magazine that is owned by the same company that does Crikey. So we would report on startups and tech and new innovations that were coming out of Melbourne and around the world. Wow. And from there, I still had that kind of, I still wanted to have live conversations, very different to written journalism or online journalism. So I launched a couple of podcasts with them and then decided to become an entrepreneur myself and did a small video production business, which was like ours. We love it, but more commercially focused. So lost a bit of the heart, I think. Yeah. So did that for a couple of years. It was an interesting journey building a business from scratch. That was quite fun and harrowing as well. But after that, I really did miss journalism and kind of found my way back through applying and connecting with the old contacts I'd had in the industry, and finally landed the role with ABC. Very hard to get into.
Yeah, sounds like it's actually a very fun journey to be where you're at the moment.
Very appreciative.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're very entrepreneurial as well. Do you have any side hustles going on at the moment?
Right now, not really, but the role itself that I'm doing takes up quite a bit of my time. So usually, I know in Melbourne, I used to balance quite a few different projects at any given time, and I didn't really sleep a lot, whereas now I'm trying to get more of a work-life balance and find, I guess, meaning in life outside of work. So I've tried to reduce the extra sort of jobs that I'm doing outside of work, but I am learning how to grow my wealth and make money work for me so that I don't have to go and work too much.
Yeah, that's the way to go about it. Just some sort of passive income. Then you can I guess, gain some sort of financial freedom down the track.
Exactly.
So you said you moved to Western Australia, to Kalgoorlie. So
Kalgoorlie.
is that a stark difference between, is there a bit of a stark difference between Melbourne and Kalgoorlie?
Worlds apart. Worlds apart.
So
yeah.
Do you think lifestyle wise it's cheaper or more expensive? What's the rent like?
The rent here is, when I first moved here, I was a bit worried because the rent, some of the rent prices with the properties we were looking at were about the same as what I was paying in Melbourne. Yeah. And in Melbourne, the last property we stayed at, which was by the beach in Elwood, very close to the city, was about just over $600 a week. So when we came here and we were looking at nice properties that were around the same mark, I was stressing out a little bit. Yeah. But after looking for a little while, we managed to get a property that was around 450. Yeah. So I find that quite affordable, especially now that I share the place with other housemates. So that's really dropped the rent for me quite a bit, and also housing costs just in general.
Yeah. So do you budget at all?
Hugely. I'm a different person to the Melbourne person that we are two different money people.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how much money I would just blow in Melbourne. It was hugely different. I think part of the reason why there's been such a massive change is, well, I had this segment on my program called Money Talks, and we have two financial kind of people that are savvy with their money. Yeah. And we unpack ways to make your money work for you, save money, budget, things that might be ways that you're leaking taps that might be in your accounts, and how to find them and then stop them leaking. So things like that. And so over the year, I started to, my first year in Kalgoorlie, I started to put some of that to work, and then also had a couple of friends here who are really money savvy and had spent the last a couple of years younger than me, and had saved house deposits and were ready to get into the market. So I think surrounding myself with people like that helped me also change and pick up some really good healthy habits. So in 1 year, I managed to get rid of an $18,000 debt, and I was debt free. And then so now I'm at a point where I'm ready to invest in a property now.
Yeah. Do you have a credit card?
I used to. So that was the final debt I had was a personal loan, a car loan, which I highly advise you do not get. Nobody needs this.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's bad for your credit score as well. I've always said this is bad for your credit score.
Yes. Yeah. And a credit card. So I had both of those, but they've gone.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you. I was just going to say, I actually screen recorded the final payment to my debt. Yeah, because there was a moment. It's been years since I was 21, and I'm 32 now.
Yeah. Did you ever talk about money with your parents?
I do talk about money with my dad. He actually tried to make me read Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was in year 12. And I was like, nah, I did read it when I moved to Kalgoorlie. And that very much helped me change my mindset. My mom has been very much like, live for the moment. You could die tomorrow, so don't be too frugal and stuff, which I think both sides are good, because I think there's a bit of sense that you need, but also you don't want to live too tight. Like, you've got to be generous and kind and be able to enjoy your life and give back as well.
Yeah. I totally agree that you have to live like tomorrow's your last day on earth, but also plan for the future. I know that it sounds contradictory, but you need both sides of your mum and dad to balance things out. Yeah. So moving on, do you think you're frugal then?
I think I'm probably more sensible than I was.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm definitely more sensible. I was having a conversation with a friend, one of my money savvy friends, after coming back from my recent trip to Melbourne. And I said, there was a pair of boots that I really wanted to get, and old Dinushi would have bought it in a second. New Dinushi was like, do we really want to put, yeah, exactly. Like, is $300 on boots right now when you have other things you want to buy really important?
Oh, that's good.
So there was that process. So I don't know if that's frugal or, that's being sensible.
Yeah, that's definitely sensible. Definitely.
Yeah.
So do you have any money saving tips?
Oh, yes. Let's see. Okay. I guess for beginners, if you have debt of any type, like I'm talking about bad debt, so if you have a credit card or a personal loan that you're paying off,
I'm just going to interject. I love how you said there's bad debt, because there is a difference between bad debt and good debt, which is some people just don't understand that concept. And good debt is what you use to actually build your wealth, such as buying a house or maybe putting money towards some sort of investment. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So go ahead.
No, that's exactly. No, that's a very good point and good explanation there, because that's something as well that I hadn't fully understood in my journey too. So it's a smart, because you do need to spend money to make money. So how you do that, debt's not evil all up.
Yeah.
But with the bad debt, there is evil debt, like credit cards, things that are not going to ever give back anything to you or your future.
Yeah.
So if you've got that kind of debt, the first thing I did was started small. So how much money can I afford to, because if I was used to living on all of the money that was coming into my paycheck every week. So how much money can I put away, just a small amount that I won't notice? So, you decide what that amount is for you, and then set it on automatic withdrawals. So as soon as your paycheck comes in, or whatever you call it, your paycheck comes in, you have that small amount withdrawn to pay off on your debt. And then after a couple of months, if I was like, oh, I can barely notice that amount, I increased it. And I slowly started increasing the amount of money that I was putting towards debt. So that really kind of automated the payment of all my debt. And I think that's why having those consistent payments come out, I just learned to live with less money. And after paying off the debt, that money is now going to savings or a fund to invest. So it's the same system where it's like automatic amounts, and then I just slowly increase it to a point where now on average I've gotten to a point where I'm comfortable living on about 60% of what I'm earning.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. So
you're saving, as you said before, for a house. So when do you think you'll be buying?
Hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next 6 months, hopefully. That's another thing with savings tips. If you can look around your house and find things that are just sitting there that you haven't used and are valuable, you can, sell it. I love things like Facebook Marketplace, where I basically now, when I buy furniture or anything, I know that I'm only going to I'm paying for 10% because I just sell it off at the end whenever I move or when I, once I'm done with it, keep it in good condition. So, when you buy anything that you're just going to sell, you're purchasing it for about 10-20%. That's sort of like dead cash that's sitting around your house.
Very good. Yeah. Actually, that's kind of like a side hustle. I know a lot of people who just rummage through their belongings and see if there's anything that they don't want anymore or haven't used in a while, and they just sell it on Facebook Marketplace or Gumtree, and that's their side hustle, essentially.
Yeah. I think also things like a car, especially, I guess it depends on what you need these things for, but I know cars are huge money pits for people. It was for me, like that was 10 years of debt. And now I bought a car secondhand for $1,000 and it gets me from point A to B. Wow. And I know I'm in Kalgoorlie, so it's a 10-15 minute trip for me every time. I don't know that I would. My friends have said that it would be safe to drive to Perth, but I'm not sure. I don't want to take the risk.
Yeah.
But for the small travel around my area, which would be like driving within your suburb or a couple of suburbs in Melbourne or Sydney, yeah, you know, you kind of can, there are ways to kind of live your life on a shoestring budget. And tax is another one. If you get, depending on what you do for a living, it's very, it can be very rewarding to invest in an accountant that specializes in your industry. So for me as a journalist, I didn't know that there were certain exemptions that I might be eligible for. And a friend put me on to an arts accountant that was quite across what we actually owe in tax. So that allowed my returns to be much bigger than I've ever had before.
Wow, okay. You just said you're 32. I'm in my 30s, but I won't mention how old I am. So we're millennials. A couple of years ago, I think it was 2017, this guy came out. We won't mention his name because he's a real estate investor. He said I wasn't buying smash avos for $19, etc. How did that make you feel, that infamous quote?
I felt personally attacked.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I didn't think it was helpful in terms of the whole housing affordability debate that continues to this day. I think what would have been more helpful is, just the need for financial literacy. You know, that is very much clear. We shouldn't have this many people that think it's okay to get credit card and personal loans and that kind of thing. But yeah, it just wasn't, I don't know, sometimes the leaders in our countries and communities, I think they forget how much power they have and their ability to actually start or have a conversation that is helpful. And a lot of people just skip that, miss the opportunity to do that. But I don't know, I do hang out with a lot of friends in Melbourne that do like to go out for brunch and spend that much on a meal when they should be saving it. Sure. But I think that's less of the problem than, just actually having some serious basic education in high schools on why your super matters, why it is important to save money from the first job that you get, what kind of ways you can make money grow through investing, why side hustles, entrepreneurship is important, those kind of things.
Recently you were in Melbourne and we had dinner and we're super excited because we were a bunch of females talking about cryptocurrency and how we're investing in cryptocurrency. What are you investing in right now?
So I invested first in Ethereum back in 2016. And that was while I was reporting for Startup Smart. And one of my colleagues had kind of learned a bit about these coins. And he kind of told me a little bit about Ethereum and said, you should, if you've got some money, spare cash that you're willing to lose, put it in there. And I thought, okay, sure. I read into it and I was kind of like not sure what was going to happen with crypto, but it looked like what they were building or the plan they had to make crypto a mainstream or bring crypto into the mainstream world. I felt like they had a plan that could work. So I thought, sure, I'll put the money in. And then a year or so after, I saw Ethereum was really growing in value. So I put a little bit more. I've just sort of kept it. And it actually spiked not long, I think about 12 months or so after I invested. And people at the time were saying, you should sell it. Like tech guys were telling me, you should sell it. Like, you're going to miss out on making it big because this is just going to crash and never come back up. It's worth way more than what it was during that first peak. So
are you like a crypto millionaire now?
No, not quite. Because I've only invested small amounts that I can afford to lose. And at the time, that was all. It was a small amount I could afford to lose. I had put more money into crypto this year and last year. And again, it's just money that I'm willing to lose.
Yeah.
But it's doing okay. So yeah, I've got money in Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, and then a couple of the smaller ones like Cardano, which was created by one of the Ethereum co-founders.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So we'll see how it goes. It's an interesting time for crypto because I've kind of looked at it from big picture. This is something that people are excited about in terms of how we are all going to purchase things in future. But at the moment, there are so many different players, and it's figuring out who ultimately will be the one that brings it to market. Already we're seeing with Bitcoin, the environmental concerns. There's also been talk about the fees of a transaction and how that will affect whether people will use it in the real world to buy a cup of coffee or a car, that kind of thing. So it'd be interesting to see how this all plays out and how regulations, and then when nations actually start building their own cryptos, what that will do to the value of these ones.
Yeah. Speaking of China, I think China's making their own digital currency. So that obviously caused the downfall of a lot of the crypto recently. And I think the Reserve Bank also wants their own currency. So
I think I've heard that. Yeah.
So number of factors there, but I don't think crypto is going to go away. So yeah, watch space.
I don't think it's going away anywhere. And I actually, when I first invested, was looking at the long game.
Yeah.
I kind of put it into coins that I thought, maybe have a fighting chance. We'll see.
Yeah.
Some of these might disappear, but just popped it in, and we'll just wait a few years and 10 years or something, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And I think you did the right thing, putting however much you can afford, rather than, I've seen a lot of people putting their life saving into cryptocurrency. I mean, some people did make it big, but the amount of people that didn't make it big, it's the stories that don't get told. So
yeah, for sure. And I think I know someone who was considering getting a $25,000 credit card to invest in crypto. Unless you are like really, really technically savvy and understand what crypto is and what blockchains are and what these coins are that you're investing in, don't do that.
Yeah.
If you've got a vague idea, or you've been following it, you read the white papers, like on Coinbase, for example, really great app, simple to use, and it's got white papers and analyses that come out every single day, so you can watch it and read about it before you invest. You still I mean, no one knows how this is going to really unfold, but you got to make an educated guess and only put in money that you are willing to lose, not that will end, put you in a situation where you are in more debt than when you started.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, we're just giving people not a financial advice, but
this is not financial advice.
It isn't.
Not financial
advice. What are you talking about? No.
Just like how I approach it.
Yeah.
Want to invest in crypto with ease? Use the sign up link to CoinSpot below to claim $10 worth of Bitcoin. Now back to the show.
Besides crypto, what else are you investing in?
I am learning how to invest in shares because I haven't gotten into that.
Yeah.
The stock market, and then property is the other thing I want to invest in. So
yeah. So you're currently investing in yourself.
Yes. Yes. So learning,
education.
trying to learn. Yeah.
And I think that is sometimes the biggest type of investment, just investing in yourself, getting knowledge, and then, making the right choices, the right moves. Definitely.
Yeah. And there's really good books out there. And, there are people that have done this before, really wise investors out there in the world. So if you can try and understand their thinking or approach, you can then apply it to whatever it is that you choose to invest in a little bit more wisely than trying to just take a stab in the dark. And it's not gambling. You shouldn't approach this like we're gambling.
Yeah.
Speaking of investing in stocks, you can get up to $150 worth of free stocks by visiting the referral link below for Stake, which is an online stock trading platform that trades numerous US stocks.
Do you have any collectibles?
I don't think so. I mean, no, I don't. I have watched on, there's a lot of shows, especially in this area here in the Goldfields. There are people that do like to have their kind of, one man's treasure is another man's trash type of old bits and pieces that, I don't know. I'm a very minimalist person and I get rid of things quite quickly. So yeah, I don't know that. Maybe one day I might get into it, but it's just not something that I have any interest in, really.
Yeah. So are you located close to the Goldfields?
We're in the Goldfields.
You're in the gold. So there's gold underneath you?
Yes. Yeah.
So
we suspect that there's gold under the residential homes here. Yeah. There's that's what people think.
So could you technically get like a gold metal detector and just, go to your backyard on the weekend and scavenge for gold?
So it's you can't you have to get a lease on the land.
Oh,
and then once you do that, you can. And there are stories where people have gone prospecting or just for a walk and found a piece of gold here and there. But I'm pretty sure even so in my house, if I found gold, I don't think I could just take it because the mine probably owns it.
Oh man, but you can just put it in your pocket and no one will know, right?
Yeah. That's what I would do. I would not tell anyone that, but I do not find gold. I'm not found gold.
You haven't. You just have a new Chanel bag.
Suspiciously beautiful home upgrade.
Yeah. What's up
on
with
a journalist salary?
Yeah. What's up with your new Tesla car? God.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all this crypto I've invested in.
Yeah. What do you think money can help you with?
It's funny. I think we were talking. I literally had this conversation with my dad the other day about, if I won $1 million, I don't know that I would change much right now. I would still be working in the job that I'm doing now because I still want to build that.
Yeah.
I think what it would change, though, is freedom and choice a little bit because it would change how many times I do get to visit friends or get to do those sort of getaways or maybe even invest in a bit of further development in other areas.
You fly first class, right?
Yeah, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
First class, get my butler.
Yeah.
How do I do life without my butler? I think freedom and choice a little bit would be more that I guess I'd have more freedom and choice in life.
So you said you won't be quitting your job, but would you do more fulfilling things like doing charity work and things like that?
That is my ultimate dream. My ultimate dream would be to continue presenting a show where we're having these really nice conversations every day and then have a charity for just empowering young girls and boys who may have kind of not felt like they have a voice growing up. So that's something I really would like to build and have a fundraising event every year to go towards projects that are that do that kind of work in the community. Yeah.
No, it's good.
So that would, if I suddenly had a lot of money, I would definitely get that set up pretty quickly. Yeah.
We're moving on to the lightning round. So you can answer these with a yes or no, or you can elaborate on it if you wish. So are you ready, Dinushi?
Yes, exciting lightning round.
Okay. Do you think money can bring you happiness?
Yes, but it's complicated.
Yeah.
Because I think it can afford you opportunities and things in your life which can make life less stressful and less painful, for sure. For example, health. If a loved one goes through something pretty terrible health-wise, and you're in a position to help them out or give them a better kind of care because you've got money, that's going to improve everyone's happiness.
Yeah, well said. If you could go back in time and talk to your younger self about money, what would you say?
Do not get a personal loan. Do not get a credit card.
Yeah.
Start saving from your first paycheck. Live on 60% of your income from your first paycheck.
Yeah. Well said. So going back to what you were saying about winning the lottery, if you had won, let's say $20 million, what would you do?
Well, first we're going to go on an island, all of us. We're going to have some fun for a weekend.
So wait, is that me? Me included?
Yeah, you,
okay,
you,
good.
Crystal. Yes, we'll get the old crew together. I think, I mean, I probably wouldn't change too much immediately. I would speak to a lot of probably people that have been smart with their money, who are in a couple categories above me financially, and then invest it wisely, and then obviously keep a little bit for fun and loved ones. Love it.
I mean, you do hear stories where people win millions and they just waste it within a few years. So I love how you're going to a financial advisor and planning out your future.
Right. People, it's really odd statistics with people that do win the lottery, especially I think because there isn't that wealth education, and then they blow it. Lots of people end up broke or worse after winning the lottery.
Yeah. Warren Buffett or Cathie Wood?
I say Warren Buffett only because I'm more well-read in, I guess, his philosophies around investing.
Fair enough. Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos?
Ooh. I'm going to go Elon Musk only because I like some of his kind of really big ideas around the world and driving innovation and kind of really taking leadership in, I guess, advancing humanity. I like his ideas around that. I don't like all of what he says, really problematic things that he does and says, especially with crypto as well, man. Like, what are you doing? But outside of that, just on that, I would say. Whereas Jeff Bezos, really smart, very, really smart, like ideas as well with what he's done with Amazon and investing in companies. And he's got a very good consciousness around the fact that even Amazon can disappear in 5 to 10 years. Like, he just always says that. I think that's really good to know, that's good to keep in mind as a business person. But I'm going to go with Elon just in terms of that bigger humanity, taking it forward kind of philosophy.
Cool. Warren Buffett or Elon Musk?
Ooh. Warren Buffett, only because of his heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and he apparently still eats ice cream. And he's always eaten what he wants, is what I've read, that he just eats what he wants.
Yeah.
And he loves ice cream. And that's just really cute, I think, for someone, I don't know. Outside of the money side of things. I just think it's cute that he's done that his whole life. You know, it's about living life on your own terms, be your own self, and also, you know, give back when you have if you've made choices that have really helped you reach wealth or reach some level of success. It's beautiful to then share that with other people so they can do the same.
Yeah. Well said. Unfortunately, this is the end of the show. Thank you so much, Dinushi, for coming to my show, my first ever podcast. Where can my listeners find you?
So you can find me on Twitter or Instagram. The handle is at Dinushi Dias. I don't know if you can help with the spelling of that, but
I will put the link down below. And thank you so much.
And that is it of this episode of Moola Moola. If you like this podcast, please share, like, and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Don't forget to check out my links below to sign up for freebies. Let me know what you thought of this episode by visiting my Facebook page. Just search The Frugal Millennial. Thanks for listening!